The following is a paid program. Talk 103.7 WTIP and Cable Channel 7 welcome you into Financially Speaking with Jim Taunton. Find us live on radio, TV, the IBX Media app, and on YouTube. Just search Financially Speaking NC or get the link at WTIBFM.com. The opinions expressed in this show are for general informational purposes only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine what investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, financial, or tax advisor prior to investing. Securities and investment advisory services are offered through Genoa Wealth Management Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Now, here's your host for Financially Speaking, certified financial advisor, Jim Taunton.
And welcome to Financially Speaking. Jim Taunton here, your host for the next 30 minutes. Glad you joined me. And I say that to the 103.7 FM WTIB 100,000 watt flame-throwing radio station audience. And also to the YouTube audience. We are live on YouTube every week at this time. You can watch the program being done. Or what's better, really, if you happen to miss the program on radio, you can log into YouTube, find me, and watch really any program I've done because they're all archived on YouTube, as you know. So you find me by going to the search bar in YouTube and typing in at the at symbol, at Financially Speaking NC, at Financially Speaking NC for North Carolina. And you'll find it. And when you go to the channel, just hit that subscribe button and you'll get notifications every week. If you open up YouTube, you'll get a notification on that little bell in the upper right-hand corner. You'll click on it and you'll see Jim's on the air. You click on that and boom, you're there. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So we're doing all that. There you have it. We have some great information tonight, actually, tax related, but I'd rather talk to you anyway. So call me during this break and I'll take your call first when we come back. If you call with a financially related question or comment, and the number is 252-561-TALK, 561-8255, 561-8255. Call me, dial the number now. We'll get you when we come back from the 2-minute break, and I'll be right back with you.
Aiden Golf and Country Club invites you to become a member. Come tour our beautiful clubhouse, ballroom, and facilities. For a quality golf experience, sign up for our discounted special membership rates, low monthly dues with no quarterly food minimum or assessments. Folks love to play golf at Aiden Golf and Country Club. Cool off at the pool all summer. Enjoy excellent food and beverages from the snack bar. Even store your own cart, unless you like to walk. Call 746-3389 for special limited membership rates at the Aiden Golf and Country Club.
My practice has been built on accessibility, responsiveness, and a willingness to be proactive for my clients. I'm not afraid to make recommendations relating to your investments and planning. I do hope all of your financial decisions are good ones, but let's not rely on hope. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work.
Jim has attained 3 professional designations: Certified Financial Planner, Chartered Life Underwriter, and Chartered Financial Consultant, which entails 20 courses of study with examinations and a comprehensive national board exam, administered by the Certified Financial Planning Board. Jim has been practicing in financial services since 1979, which includes investing, planning, and insurance to help you meet your financial goals. Among the many awards Jim has received in his career is his selection to the Guide of the Top Financial Planners by the Consumer Research Council of America. So if you want to work with someone who is working for you, call Jim at 756-4700 or email him at planning@financiallyspeaking.com. That's 756-4700 and planning@financiallyspeaking.com.
Jim Taunton here. I did not see a text notification. Let me just double check. I'm assuming I did not get anything from our producer All right. Nope. Okay, that's fine. Well, it's not fine, but it is fine. No calls. So call me with your financially related question, 561-TALK, 561-8255. And a big announcement. After 30 years on the air, no, I'm not going off the air. We're changing times. Hank Hinton has been trying to get me to move for, I don't know, a couple of decades, I guess. He thinks the 6 o'clock hour is a better time slot for this program. And I don't know, just to change, basically. We're going to move this program to 6 o'clock instead of 6:30 after you've all become accustomed to 6:30. 30 years at 6:30. So starting next week, we are going on the air at 6 o'clock. Remember that, 6 o'clock. But if you don't remember it, guess what? You can get on YouTube and watch the program anyway after the fact, even if you forget. So there you go. By the way, I haven't mentioned it to you, and we haven't actually checked it out, but you can live chat with me on YouTube. If you log into the channel and you're watching it, there is a live chat link, and you just type in something. If you want to ask me a question that way and not get on the air on the phone, I know some people have an aversion, number one, to phones, period, making calls. I have some family members that way. But also they have an aversion to being on the air live on radio. I understand that. So go to YouTube, find the channel, subscribe, and send me a message by live chat, and I'll answer the question. I'll keep looking, see what's coming up. And maybe the producer can make sure that I see those, if you'll just let me know if we get a live chat question or comment. All right. I told you we've got some tax-related stuff going on. Man, that thing shakes. First thing, talk about the market. The market was actually down today, triple digits, and it was up most of the day. And it only went down after we had a very weak Treasury auction today. Now, what you probably do not understand is why the stock market would go down because of a weak U.S. Treasury auction. Weak meaning there wasn't a whole lot of buying. Well, it's like any other auction. If you have fewer people bidding for something at an auction, does the price stay lower or does it go higher? It goes lower. There are fewer people wanting it, so the price is lower. You don't have to raise your price as much to be able to obtain it, right? Treasury auction is exactly the same. So there weren't a lot of buyers at the auction, so the prices were lower. And guess what happens to yields on bonds when prices go down? They are inversely related, not inversely proportional, but inversely related. When the price of treasuries goes down, the yield on those treasuries goes higher. So the 10-year, was it 10 year or 20 years, back to where it was a few months ago, actually. And one of the things that had been fueling this rally in the market is the treasury yields had gone down. And investors, I think, were hoping that that would continue, and that would be good for the stock market. When yields go down, people start moving money from fixed income vehicles like treasuries to the stock market because the return is better long term on equities or stocks. So that's that. Now, let's get to the tax info. How many out there know what a QCD is? I bet you don't. A QCD, Qualified Charitable Distribution. Now, Jim, what is that? A qualified charitable distribution is when you take money out of an IRA or pre-tax vehicle and you have that distribution paid directly to a charity. Could be your very own church, or it could be some other charity. But if there's a check cut for the distribution, then the check is made out to the charity. You might receive it, you might have it mailed to you, but then you would take the check directly to the charity and present it, and there you go. Now, why would anybody do that? Is there some advantage? Yes, there is. I'm glad you asked. There is an advantage, especially since the standard deduction has gone so high that there are many people now that do not qualify for itemization on their tax return. And if you don't qualify for itemization on your tax return, then you cannot deduct your charitable contributions, which is a shame. It shouldn't be that way for church contributions, to be honest with you. I feel a little salty about that one. But in any case, that is the case. That's the law. So a way to get around that is to make a withdrawal from your IRA and have the check made out to your church or charity directly and deliver it to them. And guess what? You don't have to count it as income, which you normally do when it comes from an IRA, correct? Traditional IRA. You've paid no tax on contributions or what you've earned on your money. So when you take it out, 100% taxation. Well, not so when you have it made out to the charity. And a charity, including your church, is a tax-exempt organization, so they don't have to pay tax on it. So you have avoided income tax on withdrawal from a pre-tax IRA, and that's a great way to deduct your contributions to your church. I had a gentleman, and the reason I'm talking about these things, I had a client in the office today, actually. They had been receiving an income stream from an investment vehicle. And he had the brilliant idea of changing directions with part of the income he was receiving from the investment vehicle, not all of it, but some of it, and have either monthly or annually, however we can do it, if we can do it, have a portion of it paid directly to his church. Since he cannot deduct, he doesn't qualify anymore again for itemization, because the standard deduction is like $25,000 now, something like that. I do qualify for itemization. That's why I don't know what the number is. I have to Google it. So he wants me to look into that. The only question will be if the financial institution can pay out a systematic income to two different entities. That's what I've got to look into. And if they can, we're in business. We're absolutely in business. So if your financial advisor has not at least mentioned this idea to you, and he is aware that you don't qualify for itemization on your tax return, give me a call. I'd love to talk with you. And we can talk about it without any obligation or cost to you whatsoever. That first meeting with me is just a meeting. That's all. Get to know one another. We can talk a little bit about this issue. And I'd love to do that. And you can call me at the office, and you'll actually talk to June and schedule an appointment typically. And the number at the office is area 252-756-4700, 756-4700. Or you can email me at jim@jtauntonfinancial.com, jim@jtauntonfinancial.com. My last name is Taunton. It's two N's. So jim@jtauntonfinancial.com. You can do that, and we can make contact and schedule an appointment. Love to meet with you. All right. So that was the first tax idea. Let me make sure that okay. I've got another one, but I'm going to save that one until after this break. Let's see, where are we? 6:45. Absolutely midpoint of the program. Great time for another break. So stay tuned. Give me a call during the break. I'd rather talk to you about something that's important or pertinent to you personally. So call me 252-561-TALK, 561-8255. If you call, your name goes into the drawing for the dinner for two at Tavola. I'll even pay the tip. Great place to eat. I'll talk to you in 2 minutes.
Aiden Golf and Country Club invites you to become a member. Come tour our beautiful clubhouse, ballroom, and facilities. For a quality golf experience, sign up for our discounted special membership rates, low monthly dues with no quarterly food minimum or assessments. Folks love to play golf at Aiden Golf and Country Club. Cool off at the pool all summer. Enjoy excellent food and beverages from the snack bar. Even store your own cart, unless you like to walk. Call 746-3389 for special limited membership rates at the Aiden Golf and Country Club.
My practice has been built on accessibility, responsiveness, and a willingness to be proactive for my clients. I'm not afraid to make recommendations relating to your investments and planning. I do hope all of your financial decisions are good ones, but let's not rely on hope. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work.
Jim has attained 3 professional designations: Certified Financial Planner, Chartered Life Underwriter, and Chartered Financial Consultant, which entails 20 courses of study with examinations and a comprehensive national board exam, administered by the Certified Financial Planning Board. Jim has been practicing in financial services since 1979, which includes investing, planning, and insurance to help you meet your financial goals. Among the many awards Jim has received in his career is his selection to the Guide of the Top Financial Planners by the Consumer Research Council of America. So if you want to work with someone who is working for you, call Jim at 756-4700 or email him at planning@financiallyspeaking.com. That's 756-4700 and planning@financiallyspeaking.com.
There I am. Welcome back to Financially Speaking. Jim Taunton here. And I don't believe I had any calls. Don't believe I hope I didn't miss a text notification from Dom, my producer. He'll let me know if I did. And just for your information, my very lovely wife did me a solid and tested out the live chat on YouTube. And if you go on YouTube, you'll actually see what we were saying, which is kind of silly. Anyway, it works. That's what I said. It works. So by all means, log into YouTube and hit the live chat button and send me a question or make a comment. Just don't hurt my feelings, please. I get enough of that. All right. Another tax-related idea. And this also comes from someone very close, client. Contribute highly appreciated stock to your church to pay your tithes and or offerings. Jim, why would I do that? Well, there are a lot of reasons. Let me talk to you about a specific case. Okay. Stock was purchased for around $90,000. Been held for a while. And the stock has appreciated to around $180,000, $190,000. Let's just say it's appreciated $100,000, which is good. I mean, that's a great problem to have, is it not? Problem is, if the individual sells the stock, they're going to incur a capital gains tax on the appreciation. Now, I tell clients, and I really mean it, never let the tax tail wag the decision dog. So we don't make financial decisions, and we don't certainly make decisions about our investment portfolios solely based on the tax consequences. We have to look at the whole picture. And the whole picture presents very well with the idea of contributing this stock to the church. Now, the church has to have a brokerage account established, or will establish one, to accept this stock, because there has to be a transfer. We need to do an electronic, what's called an ACAT transfer of the stock to the church brokerage account. And then the church can sell the stock, and they don't have to pay tax on gain. They're a tax-exempt entity. So they can sell it, no taxes. So they have a use of 100% of the fair market value, which is the current price of the stock, which is, let's just say, $190,000. So the individual would get a credit for a donation to the church of $190,000. No, not lower because of taxes or something else occurring. $190,000. Now, depending on your income, you might not be able to take the full deduction in the year that you do that. There's a limit of 30% of income for that transaction. So you may, but you can carry it forward. So you can take as much as you can this year, take as much as you can the next year. If you have to carry it forward to the third year, you can do that, or fourth year, you can do that. So, but certainly you need to talk to, number one, your financial advisor, and number two, your tax advisor before you do this. All right, this is just information, just an idea. This is not advice for you to do something with something that you hold. Okay, you need to talk to people, talk to professionals. All right. So what all does this do for the individual if they do it this way? Well, the first thing is they avoid capital gains tax. See, if they sold the stock, they'd pay the tax on the $100,000 appreciation in the asset. And $100,000, you're going to have about a 20 to 23% capital gains tax rate, I believe, depending on your income. Just say 20%, you'd pay $20,000 in taxes. And I don't like to pay taxes. I try to avoid them. I don't evade them, but I do avoid them. The difference between tax avoidance and tax evasion is about 20 years in the penitentiary. All right, so you avoid capital gains. You get credit for a contribution to your church of the total fair market value. So essentially what you've done is you've prepaid your tithe for several years, certainly, depending on how much you pay in tithes, of course. You've prepaid your tithe, and the church has use of that money. That's a good thing. All right. You can reimburse yourself from the tithe that you would be paying on your income. You do the calculation on what your tithe would be. And since you're not having to give it to the church anymore, you take that amount and you put it back into your investment account. And so over the next 2 or 3 years, your account grows back to where it's supposed to be. And you get a tax deduction for the $150,000, which saves you a large amount of money. That's not necessarily an additional advantage, because you were going to deduct your tithe anyway, okay? But not paying the capital gains tax on the sale of the stock is a definite advantage. You get economic use of all the fair market value. So, it's an interesting thing. You need to talk with your financial advisor or tax advisor before you make a decision about something like that. Can be a little complicated, but essentially that's it. And, the government is trying to take away our deduction for our contributions to churches. And, we knew it was coming, and it came, but there are still some ways to get that done. And I would love to help you get that done. So if you are a giver to your church, more especially you're a tither, and you have a highly appreciated investment, either a mutual fund or a stock that is highly appreciated, you don't think you're going to need that money next week, and you would like to talk to someone about possibly donating that and getting the credit for the full market value as a donation to your church without paying the capital gains tax on the sale, la-di-da-di-da, I'd love to talk with you. And again, my number at the office is 252-756-4700. 252-756-4700. Email is jim@jtauntonfinancial.com. And my website is jtauntonfinancial.com. And you can contact me through there and also find out as much as you need to know and more about me and my practice. So do that. And don't forget, at some point during the week, get on YouTube, search at Financially Speaking NC, find my channel, subscribe so you get the notifications every week. And you know, if you're too shy to call me, you've been sitting out there for years really wanting to give me a call and ask me a question, but you just don't like the idea of being on the air live. It does scare some people to death, and I understand that. I'm not demeaning you for that. But you can do live chat on YouTube and send me a question that way. That'd be great. Or you can email me a question during the week, and I'll answer it the next show. And don't forget, we're changing the start time for the program after 30 years. I've been 6:30 for 30 years. I had a little hair when I started this show. So we're moving to 6 o'clock. You know, Hank's been trying to get me to move for a while. I hadn't mentioned it lately, but he did remind me of the fact, because I had to move to 6, I believe it was last week, temporarily because of a Duke football game. And I actually had a client. The reason I'm doing it, or part of the reason, I had a client to email me and tell me for the first time they were able to listen to the whole program because it came on at 6 instead of 6:30, because they're in the car during that period going home from work. And so they don't get home and get out of the car and have to turn the radio off and miss most of the program. So I said, well, you know, there's probably a lot of people out there over the years that would like to hear more of the program. And it's just the time was not good for them. So if I move it, maybe I'll hear from the new people. Maybe I'll get calls from new people, or emails from new people, or live chats from new people, or these new people will subscribe to the YouTube channel, on and on. Anyway, that's what we're going to do. So next week, it'll be 6 o'clock. And we are just about completely out of time. But you can see behind me, again, trade your plan, not your emotions. So even though we have a lot of geopolitical events occurring that might put some fear in you, you just can't change a game plan because of temporary conditions. And you also see over my other shoulder my show of support for the people of Israel. God bless them. All right, I have music in my ears. That means I'm out of time. So as always, this is Jim Taunton, helping you make all of your financial decisions good ones. Good night, everybody.